that I received from bands while I was doing the booking. And I picked these bands because they're both about the same age. They're both guys that I would consider to be pretty talented musicians and songwriters. Okay? These are both from the same year. The first one, these are both emails I received after a show. It says, "Dear Link, I was writing because me and the guys were kind of disappointed with our show at the local last Saturday. It was our third time headlining, and we were thinking it would be really big. Truth is, we had twice as many people watch us the night before at the Soggy Bottom of the street. We want to keep playing the local, but unless you can pay us more next time, or get us more people at the show, we aren't sure we're going to keep doing it. Let us know what you think you can do if there's a next time. Signed, the band." Okay. Email number 2. "Hey Wade, what a great show last night. We can't thank you guys enough for booking us. The sound was great. It was awesome to see so many of our friends there. We were wondering though if you had any tips on something. We know the show sold out, but it seemed like a lot of our fans didn't show up until almost right before we went on. We flyered the high schools in the area and told people on Facebook to come out early, but we wondered if you knew any ways to get people there sooner so the opening bands would have a bigger crowd too. Thanks again for everything. Signed, the band." I'll tell you, one of these bands always watched the opening bands whenever they could, and the other one would generally show up during the band before they played or band. One of these bands was also actually even known to share some money that they made from the show with the opening bands if they didn't get much. And one of these would frequently say things like, "Is this all we're getting?" Final stroke here is that one of these bands is still playing today, and one of these bands broke up in 6 months of the email I mentioned. I think those are both very telling signs about looking at promotion things the bands had in mind when they became promotions. And I hope that today, when we look back at those at the end, we can see maybe where the right mindset is for bands and our success, and where the responsibility might lie for a band's success or failure. Because it's probably not just with the band. This is good. We'll dial it back a little bit. And I've got some questions here that some people have asked, and some ones I put together, and I'm going to kind of throw them out randomly at our expert panelists. And after they answer, or if they decline to answer, feel free to jump in with follow-up questions or follow-up answers from your own experience. This is just wide open, so no question too smart or too dumb, or wherever you would like to put that. So let's start with Tyler. Tyler, here's a question for you. We have a band. We have some badass music. How and where do we find a place for them? The first question.
Well, so it's way different, obviously. For Brandon, for Fido, for myself. I mean, you guys were in way before me, so the internet wasn't an option. When I started booking shows, it was phone calls to people that you may or may not know. It may or may not be the right number. There were answering machines, not voicemail. You couldn't text. So it was way different. Right now, the internet makes everything so accessible. I think that's where you start. There are a number of websites. Indie on the Move, Earning Yourself, which our friend Sarah started. Even Coherent Fucking Life still has a website for house shows. So, that's where you start. Look at bands around you. If you play music, you probably have a friend that plays music, or have played with another band that's from somewhere else. And you don't start by playing a show in Flint and then having a show in Chicago and then playing in New York City. Like that's not the reality of it, right? The reality of it is when I went with Brandon and when I've gone with other bands, you do better in smaller cities where there aren't a ton of distractions. We don't have 57 venues in a quarter mile. We've done some rough stuff in New York where you're like, we're playing with these awesome bands that are on major labels, and still 25 kids show up because it's New York City. Whereas when you play Buffalo, it's smaller, and as you scale down, it gets even more wild. So the internet is where I would start. That changed. The internet changed the game in all reality.
But the major point is, the first place it starts is with research.
Yeah, obviously.
Where do bands in your genre play actively? places 10 miles from you you've never heard of that do local bands, and you might have a chance to be able to get a song. Talking to those bands, saying, hey, I really like your band. Every band wants to hear this, but sometimes they can help you out. When you say, hey, I really love your band, we have a band too, we'd love to play a show with you sometime. And we'll get into show trades later, but if you're a regular local band and they're not too far away, you might be able to work out a deal to get shows too. Anybody else? Where would you start looking? We've got research on this side. Where else have we looked at to find a show? If you're a big band, you start there. Any other suggestions?
I think what you just touched on is a really strong point. Making friends, networking in this type of localized scene is like the biggest help we ever had. Anytime we ever had anything go right for the band that pushed us to another level, it was done because someone that we knew said, hey, I've got this friend that does this, or passed our demo along to a label and said, hey, my friends are in this band, check this out. Networking is the most important thing you will do when you're in a band.